Hey there, it's Kristen with K Design Co. And today I'm going to show you how you can create a countdown timer at the top of your website. So this really comes in handy when, let's say, you're having a sale that has a beginning and end point that is fixed, and you want that countdown timer to essentially count down the days until the end of the sale. So I'm going to show you how you can create this little bar and add it to the top of your website. Just be forewarned, there is a little bit of code involved, but I'm going to actually give you the code. So you're just going to have to edit a very small part of it to make it work for your site. So I'm going to go over here to Showit, and so this is my Kimberly shop template. But this will work for any Showit template or any Showit website that you have in the same exact way. So you'll notice here that my navigation here is at the top, but what we want to actually do is add a canvas above the navigation so it sits right at the top of the website. So if you have a website that has been created with the new site canvas sets down here, you'll see it here, and you'll have a menu listed here. Otherwise, you'll have to create just a regular canvas and put it at the top of your site. So since my website has been created with the canvas set, I'm going to go ahead and start creating a bar to add to that canvas set. So I'm going to call this a countdown timer. And then once you have it named, then you can style and adjust it accordingly. Normally, you're going to want something that's relatively thin. Up here at the top, you can either eyeball it or set your settings in the height settings over here on your canvas. And then usually it's good, depending on the styles of your brand, usually it's good to pick a color that's kind of going to stand out. So for this one, I'll use like a dark blue, since my regular navigation is white, and this will really stand out against that. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is you can just go ahead and add a text box. So this is just going to be the start of our design, and make sure that you change the text color so that it stands out. So let's call this the summer sale is going on now. And then let's write whatever discount is happening. So 30% off everything in the shop. Okay, so you can write whatever message you want. This is just to get us started here with the kind of the design portion of the countdown, and then you can style it however you want so that it looks, cohesive with your brand. So once you have that part done, of course you can add an emoji or do whatever sort of emphasis you want, but this is kind of the bare bones of what you'll need. So you need the text box, and then the second thing that you'll need is a embed code box. So if you go down here to add element and then you go to embed code, it'll add it right there at the beginning or at the center of your page. So you can just kind of slide it over here to adjust the size, and so you can kind of see it clearly. And then what you're going to do is double click into that embed code box, and then you will see this is a code editor screen. So I'm going to give you the code link to get the code. So all you're going to do is paste that right into your embed code box. And then once you have that embedded, you're going to go through here, and there's a few areas where you are going to be able to edit without interfering with the functionality. So anything here within these style tags is something that you can edit, and I would encourage you to edit based on your own website. So the fonts in particular, right here and right here, as well as the sizing of the text. This is all things that you can change. So any font that is more than one word, so if it's 2 words, 3 words, it always needs to be inside of these single quotation marks You can see how it is. So your font name would essentially go right in between these two quotation marks. Same thing for here. And then you can adjust the pixel size of the font here. So it's actually already styled to how I want, but you can adjust and tweak this however you want to fit with your brand. Okay, so once you have the styling down, then you're going to go down here, and this area here where it says set the date that we're counting down to, this is where you can adjust your date. So the numbers that you will change are here, these kind of orangish numbers. So the year is right here. So that will be where you can change the year. If you're doing something 2026, that's where you'll want to update that. And then the month is right here. And then the day is right here. So right now, this countdown timer is counting down to December 31st, 2025. Now, if I want to change that, let's say I want it to count down till January. So I'm going to go ahead and make that 2026, and let's keep it at the 31st. And then everything that comes after the T stands for time. So everything that comes after the T is a time stamp. So 23:59:59 would be 11:59 with 59 seconds. So it would be just right before February 1st. So if you don't need to change the time, that's totally fine. Otherwise, you can update the numbers to correspond with whatever time you want this to expire. Now, lastly, the last thing that you can do is edit the message that would show if the countdown timer were to expire. So a lot of times I may just pull the timer off if it's, within the last minutes or seconds. But if you're not around when that timeline or that countdown timer expires, you can just add this little message that would indicate to people that the countdown's expired until you are able to come and pull this off. So you can change the message, anything in between these two little greater than, less than brackets, whatever you want to say. You could say sales over, come back next year, whatever you want to say. Okay, so those are kind of the key areas where you'll want to edit. And then the other thing you can edit if you would like is this is where our times are going to display. So I wouldn't suggest changing anything inside of these spans, but inside the little brackets you could change the labels where it says D, H, M, or S. So this stands for day, hour, minutes, seconds. So if you'd rather spell it out, days or hours, you can certainly add that in between. So this would be minutes, and then you could say seconds. So other than that, those are kind of the main things that you would want to edit. Otherwise, don't touch anything else or it won't work. So let's go ahead and save and see what we have. So you can see now that we have a functioning timer here, and it already kind of calculated the days, hours, and minutes for us. It's actually getting cut off a little bit because the seconds aren't fitting on there, but you can see once we adjust the sizing of the box, we can now see it. So now you just kind of have to play around with the placement of your other text box and your countdown. So you want it to kind of essentially be somewhat centered in this area. So what you can do is actually click and drag to select both, and then you can align them to the canvas this way, align center horizontal, and that will give you a nice kind of centered effect with two elements. And then I'll just go over here on the other side and again resize it so that it will fit all of my design in here. So you can see this one is where we're kind of cutting it close on the width for the mobile side. So you may decide, depending on how big you want this, that you may need to actually bump down the font size. So maybe you need the label to be like 12, and maybe you need this font size to be closer to 18, and maybe generally you want the numbers to be a little bit smaller. So you can see now I just made that slightly smaller, and it fits a lot nicer in this space without getting cut off. And of course you can format, you can do bold, or add what other styling or formatting you want to make this look like you want. But essentially, now that we have our canvas up here that is for the main countdown timer set as a site canvas, then the last thing that you need to do is add this to your page. So if you are not using a canvas set, then you are just going to go to any of your pages and then just add this from a site canvas. Otherwise, you will go to your canvas set here and click into the canvas set tab. And then on the menu up here, sorry, I'm going to move this down a little bit. Up here on the top section, this is where you're going to want to add your countdown timer. So countdown timer, by default, it will just get added to the bottom of that top section, but you can just click and drag it to the top section here. And now you can see that we easily created a countdown timer. So if you want to see it in action, more kind of on the live site, all you have to do is just go to one of your pages, hit preview, and then you can check out that it is working and it looks to be working. So hopefully this was helpful for you. And if you have questions, put them in the comments. If you like this video, please like it, subscribe, and let me know what tutorial you would love to see next. Thanks.